So which is quite a good news. So actually, for the first time in more than a month and a half, the number of new COVID-19 cases here in Hong Kong has returned to single digits. But still, the health authorities warned the city that which is Hong Kong is not completely out of the danger zone because uh, they are still unable to pinpoint how some patients might caught the virus, or they might still have some potential chances for uh, a small spread out in some communities. But however, the number of the new coronavirus cases dropped to just 9 on Monday, and which is also the lowest since the beginning of July. And Hong Kong has not seen a single digit tally since July, the 3rd of July. So it's already been around a month and a half. And also the number of COVID-19 cases recorded in Hong Kong now stands at 4,600, about 4,700 cases so far, approximately, and 77 fatalities have been recorded. And also 7 of the latest patients contracted the virus locally, of which 4 have no known sources. And also the 2 imported cases are a student returning to Hong Kong from Switzerland and a Filipino domestic helper. And yes, that's all for the COVID-19 update. And then uh, following up is the latest measures, which is the health code system I have mentioned in the last live stream. Welcome, Ginga Girl 23rd. Yes, because actually it is quite important for uh, the Hong Kongers here, as people are keep worrying about uh, if the if the health code system would be a uh, measure, or would be a way for the government to surveil the people's activity. So, because the chief executive Carrie Lam on Friday had urged the people to have a free coronavirus test being offered by the government, and she confirmed the exercise will start from September 1st, which is next week. The upcoming, let me see. I remember it's Monday, yeah, and the testing centers will be set up across 18 districts in Hong Kong, and the time of running is from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And people will have to make appointments online and register their names, identity card, and mobile phone numbers. And also, uh, people are this universal virus test is on voluntary basis, which means that people are not being forced to join the test. They do it if they want. So actually, it will start on should be Tuesday. Yes, next Tuesday. So which is quite fast. And about the details and procedures of this test is the qualified medical workers, which include the experts from China, will take both nasal and throat swabs from the participants. And for those who test negative for the virus, will receive an SMS message, which is a message on phone and notifying them of the result. Hey there, Clara. Yes, because just for the recap, because there's a lot of important news today. Yeah, because this morning I'm still working on the questions about the interview of my student reporter friend. So I choose to live at this time. The election minus 20 virus is fake. Hello. Yes, because Richie yes, some people here are some people actually I have the same thought is that people are suspicious about actually the government is controlling the number of coronavirus cases. I don't know. Um, have they confirmed that a case of a guy getting reinfected? Yes, yes, you're right, Mr. Fibro. Actually, um, the health authority confirmed today there's a guy, the first case here in Hong Kong, which is also around the world, is that the guy was reinfected again. But they're still finding a reason why because they cannot trace anything about it. And also respond to about the fake virus thing is many people here are suspecting about government controlling cases while they started to promote the health system, and then uh, the authority or the government will saying that because of the execution or the promotion of the universal test, the case was started to drop down, and this uh, um, cause and results relationship for people to know about that. Uh, it is because the government do this, and then uh, the cases here would be dropped. Yes. So, but I don't think so actually. Yes, Clara. I do think that because actually, um, they're just saying uh because it is they don't do anything on the border or they don't execute any policy on the border, but they just blame on uh the citizens here for not keeping the rules, or they just try to urge people to keep you need to keep social distancing, otherwise you would increase the risk of getting infected or causing small community spread out. But actually the source is that if you're just shutting down the border, don't let the people have the virus keep coming into Hong Kong, then it would be solve the problem. But actually people or some politicians have another saying is that just like what I've mentioned is the government wants the people or wants some low educated uh, people might be or might be the elderlies or some middle class people who might watch news um, not properly, not regularly, to think about that it is the government who solved this or stop the spread of coronavirus because they uh, promote the healthcare system. So many people are thinking about this or suspicious about this because it is it won't be that that lucky that the when the policy comes out, then the cases starting to drop down. That's a bit weird and it's a bit strange. Yes, so most of the people here think about that. So, moving back to the details and procedures of the coronavirus and health system. So, also the chief executive reminded people to bear with the strict social distancing measures. And as the coming week, it is a critical period to assess whether the drop in new COVID-19 cases is sustainable or if there will be rebound. So, actually, this announcement comes from last Friday, and when she announced this, and this week the case dropped immediately. So the speed won't be that fast. So that's people are suspicious about in this case. And also, she said that people should keep the social distancing measure, otherwise there will be a rebound. And officials are holding discussion with the catering sector about arrangements to be put in place when social distancing rules can be relaxed. So initially, dining services at restaurants could be resumed in the evenings with restrictions, and as well as cinemas, which is the old the old social distancing measure policy, which may resume, is that the dining service is resumed, but the restaurant only could allow 50% of the people of the restaurant, provided, and and that number of people could get inside. So also some places that have shut down would be also opened again, like cinemas, beauty parlors, and some sport venues, stadiums, etc. So, which mentioned by Carrie Lam. And she also announced that on Friday, last Friday, the government would unveil a health code plan, which I talked about today in this live stream, and to enable the cross-border travel as soon the pandemic situation in Hong Kong would be stabilized. Actually, uh, there's let me think about. There's a press conference about health system. Yes, last Friday, I remember, if I didn't get it wrong, which actually the analytics or the data of the coronavirus test after you've done it, and these kind of data will be sent to Guangdong province. But actually, sending to Guangdong province and sending to CCP, that's the same. So some politicians or pro-democracy activists are calling people not to do it uh, yourself, or not to do it voluntarily, unless you are suspicious about uh, you have caught or you are infected by the virus. You're welcome, the Rubber Bandit. Thank you for watching the live stream. We need your support from watching. Brain dead and yes, because actually this is very controversial for the pro democracy side, because some of the people saying that you don't need to compulsory thank you, you don't need to compulsory to wear the face mask all the time. And because, for example, at the night there's no people around, you could just leave you could just leave yourself breathing without the mask. But some people, like some uh, traditional pan democracy side, are thinking that no, okay, you should wear the mask all the time, because you will get infected, or you might uh, bring you are the people are who get the virus inside, but you just don't know. Maybe you have some uh, immune you have immunity to the virus. So actually, it's quite controversial. Like, people are blaming each other for uh, wearing face masks or not. Yes, but I personally think that I I am going for not always wearing a face mask, because that was very uh, hard to do it. We need a happy medium. Yes, actually, around, like, the atmosphere around the whole city here is, they're very worrying about uh, coronavirus from the social aspect, and from in the political aspect. They don't know how they're going to be treated by the police violently, maybe in the future, and also about the national security. We might lose the freedom of speech. So is kind of a very worrying situation. And I also think about, like, I'm also worrying about this too, because uh, there's a few of the court cases about the security law, and also some uh, fights or argues about um, between the establishment or pro-government peoples, or some and also some protesters, which they are being treated unfairly or judged unfairly by the judge, the court judge. So uh, people here are not are losing their trust to the court, and also the judiciary system here in Hong Kong, because this they're already listening to the words of government. They just can't help to people to uh, achieve for the real fairness or justice. So yes, it is quite worse or blurry here in Hong Kong. So yes, I agree. We need some happy things here. Um, so move back to the details of the coronavirus test. Actually, uh, people who sign up for this test will have to take coronavirus test from a recognized medical facility or a lab provide information like travel document details and phone number, and which these kind of peoples can apply the Guangdong and Macau authorities. Actually, it's CCP because Guangdong is one of the cities in China, right? So, and because Guangdong province is the nearest province to Hong Kong, so the government would choose this. Yes, but not saying directly as China. For an equivalent digital certificate to be used there, and so they can exempt it from quarantine restrictions. So, at the press conference last Friday, the IT secretary, which is in charge of this health code system, said a similar health code system is already being used by residents in Macau and Guangdong, and also China, because that's all we know. Along with this health code system, people are being surveyed uh, in China, and if you speak something wrong about the government, you might be caught by the police in China, which using you get infected, you have some health problems as an excuse, and send you to hospital or send you to jail afterwards. We don't know. It's quite a threatening situation. And also, the authorities in these two places were looking at ways to relax cross-border travel to Hong Kong since May. Actually, people here are objecting about this, like they really unsatisfied about this decision, because actually the virus situation in China is still unrelieved, but you're still letting people coming in here. And Hong Kong, the virus situations are also still remain unrelieved, but you just keep transferring people to here, which makes the situation worsen. So yes, people are thinking about why the government's decision is so ridiculous. And also, Alfred dismissed about some privacy concerns surrounding the scheme, saying the system will not have tracking functions, and advice for the privacy commissioner will be sought this matter. But people don't believe it at all, actually. And also, Carrie Lam also ruled out the possibility of rolling out a health code in Hong Kong, specifically for restaurants and shops, saying such a plan would be unfeasible. And she said that she had discussion with Guangdong and Macau already, which the purpose of the health code they've been working on this is only for traveling. and also respond to the use of health code for access to local institutions or catering. She reckons that it is not practicable. And also the Secretary for the Civil Service, Patrick Nip, speaking on an LTHK radio program. LTHK is, hello, hi Ali. RTHK is the full name is Radio Television Hong Kong, which is the uh, largest public TV and also radio broadcast company in Hong Kong, which is also under government. Mm, there will be a radio program every morning, which uh, the the people who hold this program would invite different kinds of celebrities or also government officials to talk about the issues and also the latest news and saying about coming up with their views also. So in this program in the morning today, Patrick Nip said people would be able to register online for the universal COVID-19 test scheme by the end of this week. And also all individuals need to do is provide their name, ID card number, and phone number when they register. So on the day of their appointment, they will be assigned a sample bottle with a number. If the sample yields a negative result, the individual would be notified via SMS, which is the phone message. So he also said that as long as people own a Hong Kong ID card and display no symptoms, then they can take part in the testing scheme, and foreign domestic helpers would also be allowed to be tested. So he also urged companies to be flexible and allow employees to get tested during office hours. Besides, he said that people's samples and information will stay in Hong Kong and the personal details will be encrypted before they are destroyed a month after the tests are done. For this privacy issues, actually, most of the people in the pro-democracy side and some politicians are not believing that because they're suspicious about whether, although the government will encrypt these kind of data and destroy after people done the test for after the tests are done and then destroy a month after that. But if what if the government are keeping data? They said they would destroy, but they didn't say that they wouldn't back up these data and then send to CCP. Maybe they just make a copy and then delete one of the copy of these kind of data. And behind this data, they still have one more copy for them to communicate to China. So people are getting worried about this. Actually, starting from chief executive going to announce about this health code system. So also the political situation here in Hong Kong starts getting worsening because there are a few court cases today, which I've mentioned a few minutes ago, about some arguments or affairs between protesters and pro-government peoples or the supporters. But however, in these court cases, the court judge treated unfairly to the protesters, which led the pro-government supporters win the case, which the protesters and also the democracy activists may need to get to jail, or they need to keep up with some punishments by court. So later on this week, around maybe tomorrow or this Wednesday, I would focus on some do a live stream which focus on some court cases. or about some civil rights, or how protesters and also some social activists on the pro-democracy side being treated by the government, and also facing court appeals or court judges, and to take a deep look in this situation right now. So yes, that's all for tonight's live stream, and thank you for joining me tonight. So feel free to comment and ask me issues about Hong Kong in the comment section below, or on Twitter, which is in my profile. So see you soon in the next live stream, and stay tuned for the latest updates in Hong Kong. You're welcome. See if the audience have, or all of you have some questions, so you can leave it under the comment section, or just ask me directly. Yes, that's all, and see you soon.